Hey, this is David Meltzer here with the Playbook. We are at the Blue Wire Studios here in the lobby of the Wynn. We are so excited to be partnered with them. This is probably the best podcast studio that I've been in, and I'm so blessed to be a part of it. So I want to thank Blue Wire. But more important, from the blue box to the black box, we have the CEO, the co-founder, or founder, no co-founder, I'm right. We have the CEO and co-founder of Black Box VR, and he was also the founder of the small company called bodybuilding.com. And it's so funny, Ryan DeLuca. It's so funny when I tell people about bodybuilding.com, instead of thinking, and I know what a huge success it was and what a great exit it was, which makes it a success for you, but it's so funny that people hone into the domain. The first thing they say to me, that domain must be worth a fortune. I was like, what happened to our world that people are like attracted to just the domain part, and they forget that you built out a huge business to help people with the most important non-negotiable in life, their health.
That's right. Yeah, it is interesting. First of all, people always seem to get it mixed up with bodybuilders.com for some reason. It's like, you're the bodybuilders guy. It's like, close enough.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, very lucky to get the domain early in 1998. Found it from somebody that had owned it and decided to buy it. I bought it for $20,000, and then I told my dad about it, and he said that was the dumbest thing possible.
That's usually an indicator that it's super good.
Exactly. Yep, that's right.
My mom told me the internet was a fad, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm with you.
Had so much of that in the beginning, and then I ended up hiring my dad, and he was able to retire a few years later, so that was kind of nice.
That's really nice. And so in building bodybuilding.com, what were some of the lessons, that you learned that today in its infancy, Black Box, a great technology and a huge space that you know well, what were some of the lessons that you learned that you said, I'm not done, even though I never have to work again, I'm not done. My dad's at an age where he's done, but I'm not done. I'm ready to re-up, reinvest, and go in. What were those lessons that motivated or inspired you to say this is going to work?
Sure, yeah. So, when I sold bodybuilding.com at the end of 2015 to Liberty Media, it was the first time I'd be able to take a break in a long time, because the internet business, any kind of business, really 24/7, even when you're on vacation. And so I looked forward to taking a little bit of a break, but I thought I could last like a year. Only lasted like 6 months. And I think the biggest lesson I really learned is that I'm the type of person that wants to create, wants to do something that makes a difference for people, and wants to be part of a team. And I couldn't just retire and do nothing. And I want to be constantly learning, constantly challenging myself. And the biggest things I learned from bodybuilding.com was that as a growing business, there's constant learning. As soon as you think you've got things figured out, everything changes.
Right.
It's like you're finally like, all right, we got figured out how we're going to hire and how we're going to lay out the team and do the technology. And then once you hit this next level of growth, it all changes. And a lot of times founders can't make it through that, right? So founders sometimes are good at the beginning stages and getting the initial product and vision going. But when it becomes a little bit more of a management task, it's difficult. And so I really prided myself on continually learning, and I take that with me towards Black Box.
And, coming from that success into Black Box, you are a co-founder. How do you pick, when you don't need one, how do you pick a partner or a co-founder to start something when it's something so big? This is not a hobby, by the way. This man put millions of dollars into this company. It is going to be the sensation of the fitness world. Trust me, I see everything, and I demanded this guy come into my studio because I was so impressed. And all it took me, how many seconds or minutes was my only workout I did?
I think you're in there for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Changed my life.
Yeah.
You get to do something, and you're like, holy crap, this guy gets it. But how do you pick your co-founder when you're sitting on something that big?
So sure, yeah. So I mean, I am the type of person that definitely needs a co-founder. I like this big idea that people can just sit at home and do it all by themselves, like the lone genius idea, and that's nearly impossible. Like throwing things off of somebody and having different perspectives is so important. So I picked my co-founder Preston Lewis because he used to work with me at bodybuilding.com, and as we were growing bodybuilding.com, it was like I was still involved in the new innovation and technology, and I would be, brought into finance meetings and HR meetings all the time, but I got this 1 hour a day that Preston and I could really work on some of the brand new technologies that we were implementing with bodybuilding.com. And so it was an easy pick for me because he's an innovator, he's an entrepreneur, he understands how important it is for people to become fit and how much that changes their lives. So that was a great thing, and obviously we've been very successful working together so far.
And because you enjoyed that hour so much, was that one of the catalysts of, hey, maybe I'll enjoy starting a business in this space?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was. We were looking at virtual reality at bodybuilding.com. Because sometimes people hear, like the name bodybuilding.com, and they don't think there was a lot of technology. But we had like 200 software engineers that worked for the company. Like when I left, and we were always building new technology when it comes to video technology and content that we were putting out there, and gamification and ways to track all that kind of stuff. Huge message boards and forums, and so it really came down to, I wanted to continue to see, what's this new technology coming out, always looking at how we can then apply that to fitness. Because people are always paying attention to new technology, right? It's easy to read the latest articles. But I always look at it and say, how can this thing actually help people get in shape? Because the biggest thing I learned at bodybuilding.com about fitness is that almost nobody sticks to their fitness programs. And I know it's kind of like a cliche, but in
It's
January,
any habit. Well, you can just say habits, right?
Right.
Hardly anyone sticks to any habit.
right, positive habits at least.
Yeah, right. You know why? Because it takes so long to see a result.
Exactly. Yeah. And so you nailed it. Basically, fitness is the worst way to create a habit, right? You do something that's boring. It is painful. You don't see any result immediately. Like if you immediately, lifted a weight and you could see a difference, like it'd be great, but it can take years and years. And if you stop, you have to do it consistently. And if you stop, you're not going to get those results. Where video games are the opposite. Video games give you immediate gratification, right? You can see what you're doing, you understand what you need to do, and you can hit that next level. And when you hit that next level, things fly out of your body, and rewards fly all over the place. So we said, how can we put that together with fitness? Because learning at bodybuilding.com that almost nobody sticks to their fitness programs, how do we get them to fall in love with it and to be addicted to it? And we really say, like in our mission, like we're trying to get people addicted to working out, where you have that itch to come back, like you do with a video game.
I will tell you, they blame McDonald's French fries for being addictive. The black box is addictive. I cannot get it out of my mind. And I'll tell you, I played college sports, and I wasn't the greatest talent, but I was consistent and persistent, so it allowed me to compete because I practiced as hard as I played. And so I'm one of the anomalies that, is okay with habits because I think long and I'm able to do that. And I know it's an anomaly, and that's why I try to teach people that. But beyond that, what was so incredible is that when I experienced it for the first time, the integration of two things blew my mind. Is that you took what was some of the most difficult practice in my life, chest and tries, back and bis, legs and shoulders, abs, cardio, whatever it may be. You got the Orange Theories of the world and all these different circuits and the F40, whatever their names are, which will use the black box, by the way. All these companies will be licensing it, I'm sure, as some do now. But what was so incredible is you took this practice, and I got and put the glasses on, and it showed me where to put my hands virtually, but I was actually touching something, a machine that was built specifically for this game, but also specifically for the movements that would be most beneficial and the resistance that would be most beneficial, and incorporated into this game that until I finished, it was only a 3-minute set, and
Little demo.
the demo. But until I finished in 3 minutes, I didn't realize I was exercising. It's like when you're having so fun with a girl dancing, and you're there, and then all of a sudden the music stops. You're like, oh my God, I'm so like I just killed my legs.
It's kind of like going skiing or something, right? You don't really realize until the next day your legs are sore. And we kind of always say, like, if somebody came in here and was, like threatening us, we'd run off, and we wouldn't be thinking, oh, I'm a little bit tired. Like you would just go. And video games can bring that
That's
out.
how I
in
return
you, right?
punts, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I can run scared faster than you can angry.
Coming at you.
Right.
But yeah, you nailed it. It is video games do a good job of helping you to get in that flow state, right? So that's why the time goes by so fast. So you're playing this game, and the joke is always that, I'm just going to play for 30 more minutes, and then 3 hours go by, and it's 3 in the morning, and you have to wake up at 7,
Right.
And that's the opposite of fitness, because in fitness, like, you're on the treadmill, you think 30 minutes have gone by, it's only been 5. It's like you're
And even worse, the first 5 minutes are the suckiest.
Yeah,
Like, nobody
exactly.
likes
Getting
the
started.
first getting started. And this thing, it's so easy to get started because it's what you're, I think, attracted to. Now, you have 6 core beliefs that I find are completely aligned for life as well. And I was hoping you could kind of share some of them, if not all of them, and how they're relative to Black Box.
Yeah, so when we started Black Box, we realized that just like with bodybuilding.com, we were going to be a mission-based company, right? So we believe that fitness changes people at a fundamental level. Like there's almost nothing you could do that can make somebody's life better than help them become healthy and fit, right? Not just because it makes them look better, but it gives them more confidence and energy, and obviously helps them be sick less often, so it can be better for their family, for their community. So our first core belief is that. So we created a mission statement which was 100% about that. That if we help people to get addicted to their fitness programs using immersive technologies, we'll help improve their lives dramatically. So, and I always start every one of our company meetings with that, saying, if you see anything in this company meeting that is not directly for that, then I want you to raise your hand and tell me, because we should be doing nothing else. Because if we do that, one of our core beliefs is that if we help them to people to get results, they will then tell their friends. They will stay members of our gyms longer. And so it's selfish in a way, because it's like financially we'll do much better if we actually help people to get the results and share it with their friends. A couple other ones are that we strongly believe that for fitness success, the only secret is adherence. Everybody's trying to sell, crazy weird programs, crazy weird exercises, books and fad diets and things. And most people will find, research a whole new program, figure it all out, lay it all out, and then they'll do it really good for like a couple weeks, start to slack off on it. Then they're off their program again, and they're getting back. And then they try to find some complicated thing again. The only secret is if you could work out consistently for, every week and do that for years, you're 100% for sure going to get into shape. Like it's just guaranteed. So we believe that fitness improves lives, adherence is the only secret. And that's what we're trying to do. We motivate everything in our game to get people to come back, push hard, do the right amount of exercise, so hit the right amount of volume per body part at the right intensity, and that's going to do it. Another belief is that immersive technology is powerful. And some people also think, oh, it's just a screen on your face, right? So what's the big deal? It's just like getting close to a TV,
Right.
But studies are coming out showing that VR changes the mind in dramatic different ways. In fact, the FDA the other day just cleared a product for chronic pain where you can use a VR experience. It's literally, you can be prescribed a video game now. Because being in this, which is kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
Where you can actually be inside VR, and because of the way that it distracts you and it changes the way that you think and it changes your mind, it can actually solve your low back pain problem. And there's other things just like that for therapy. And so it reduces pain perception, as we were saying, so that's great for fitness. It helps people to get into that flow state. It helps time perception. So it is a dramatic new technology. And if you look into the details, there's so much there. And then the last core belief that we have, well, I guess two more, since you asked. We have 38 core beliefs.
But we'll get to them.
That's right, yeah. But another one is that addictive, or video games are addictive. Yeah. And, it's literally...
Liquid crack.
Right, yeah, exactly. It's literally... China banned video games for more than 3 hours for people under 18. Like, it's just 100%, you cannot do it because they call it spiritual opium. And people actually get divorced because you'll see in divorce proceedings that Fortnite is mentioned specifically because people can't stop playing. And it's literally considered a mental disorder that you can actually get therapy for.
Wow.
And so it's amazing that there's this thing it's a screen. It has lights and colors and pixels and sounds, and that gets you just as addicted as a drug. And so we say that's a very powerful thing. If we could put that together with fitness habits, you could create something really great. And then our last core belief is just we are stronger together as a team, and that we are going to work very hard. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to trust each other. We're going to be there for each other. And the grind is the only way, because another thing people believe, especially when they ask me about, bodybuilding.com, the 17-year overnight success,
right. Yeah.
is that, it must be just, must not be that difficult, and you must have just got it figured out overnight. And it's like, it is. We started this new company saying it for sure is going to be very, very hard. And there are going to be days you're going to want to quit. And we just recognize that together as a team, we're going to be able to be successful.
And, thinking through the business model, even though you have, every indication of a unicorn for me, because you're an experienced entrepreneur, you have the right mindset, heart set, and hand set. You've paid the dummy headset, yeah, and you paid the dummy tax already. So that's a huge benefit. But, I'm looking at the business model and I'm thinking, where are the challenges of this black box, and so, having you in here, where is that resistance right now in the marketplace? What are people thinking? Because I'm sold on the fact that if anyone puts those glasses on and spends 3 minutes in a demo, that there would literally, you could not be a human being and not get it and see the benefit of it. And I had other people in my company that were there with me, and I believe it or not, young 27-year-old kept up with him, which was great too, because it showed the external competitiveness still existed, even though I wasn't like next to the guy that's benching more, so you put on a little bit more weight.
That's right.
But it still had that same now people I can see sharing their scores and their weights and their reps and, being able to do that virtually as well. But where's the challenge to it?
The challenge basically is that it's such a new thing. We call it like the 0 to 1, the Peter Thiel book,
Yep.
where when you're creating something that you can say, oh, this is like this, but this little difference, people can get it pretty quickly. Our difficulty is explaining it to people. And like you said, like if somebody just comes in and puts a headset on, even in 3 minutes, they're going to get it right away. It's getting people to understand that they need to go try it because they just can't understand. They think it's either like a Wii Fit type of thing where it's just this little game that you play in front of a screen. They don't understand what the full experience is about. They don't understand how it integrates with the machine. And I will have like friends and family that I've explained to it, talked to about it for years, and they still don't seem to get it until they go in there. They'll even say, man, I've heard about you talking about this forever. Finally tried it. It's way different than I thought.
Yeah.
And
it was way different than I thought. And then even more, I think, obtuse is what it looks like when you get there. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, it's black box VR. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at a black changing booth, right. And you can't even tell because you don't know what's going on. You can't even tell the equipment is integrated into the game when you first get there. You kind of see something that looks like it might be part of the game, like an exercise piece of equipment that's so integrated into the box, and you're like, how would that work with all the different exercises he's talking about, and how big would this seem? And so considering that, and you're talking to someone that for literally, it's almost 30 years now, my mom cannot explain what I do, right? Oh, yeah. No idea what I do. So just say he's a corporate lawyer. I'm like, Mom, I went to law school, and yes, I work in the corporate world, but I'm not a corporate lawyer. But keep telling all your Jewish mom friends that. I was thinking to help entrepreneurs because I think, especially with technology, there's a lot of less seasoned entrepreneurs than you that have this challenge. And you have the external problem, the internal problem of communicating something that you must feel like exhausted, mm-hmm. like, can't you just get it? Just put the glasses on. But yet, I even was resistant at first. Like when I looked at it, I'm like, I don't know if I need to try it, man. And I'm telling you, if I didn't try it, it would have been a waste of a trip.
Right.
Because there's no way you can explain it.
No way.
So if you have a technology that can't be explained to 80% of the marketplace, what are some of the ways we have to get them to try it out? Or is it word of mouth? Or what are the ways that we get a business built?
It's funny, starting bodybuilding.com back in the late 90s, it was the exact same thing. So if anything, I feel like I've been through it before, and I'm seeing this story play out where it was, what is this cyberspace thing? People are never going to give their credit card over the internet.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Why would they, that no one understood it. They didn't understand email address, what's HTTP, what, and they also thought it was just this dorky kind of nerdy thing. And I think for me, it's if you have a strong belief, like not just, oh, cool technology, business opportunity, I'm going to make money. Instead, it's this technology is life-changing. It has amazing capabilities that's never been seen in the world before, like with the internet. It gives you this power to keep going during those days where things are difficult because like there's always going to be that. I kind of did think starting over with Black Box, oh, I've done this before. There was a little bit of ego, like, oh, it's not going to be that difficult. And looking back now, they say entrepreneurs are like, pretty naive, and you have to be, because if you knew how hard it was going to be, you would never start.
Yeah, right. If you even with the exit that you had, right, incredibly successful exit, you still question if somebody would have told me that the last 17 and a half years would go the way that they went, and even knowing my outcome, you're still questioning, is it worth it or not? And then you're dumb enough to do it again, which I love about you, which is why I want to invest in your company and get everybody to invest in your company and be a part of the company. Working with a big apparel company, their slogan, as you probably have heard before, is just do it.
I've heard that.
Yeah, so I would say when it comes to Black Box, just try it. Just
That's right.
Even if you don't even want to work out, just to experience something that remarkable, that life-changing, the pure reconciliation between the speed of thought and the speed of physicality, which is the speed of light, right? This pragmatic world is reconciled with the speed of thought. And how can we utilize our thought to have greater performance physically that only has a greater outcome, which is so beautiful because health is my non-negotiable in life, my number one non-negotiable. And if you're healthy, you get 1,000,000 wishes. And if you're not healthy, you only have one wish. And so I want everyone to have 1,000,000 wishes every day. I want everyone to try Black Box VR. I want everyone to reach out to Ryan DeLuca. These guys are incredible. They're experienced. The company's amazing. And all you got to do is just try it, and you'll know that's the easiest way. Someone asked me, how do you describe it? I'm like, you know what? It's worth it. Just try it. Just you try it. Then you tell me, you tell me if you get it, because you'll get it within the first minute. And then when you finish, you'll really get the impact of how substantial and exciting this business is. Ryan DeLuca, I know you got your second big winner here for sure. He's the CEO and co-founder of Black Box VR. You're welcome always in my studio. Please, let's continue the conversation. Everyone, check him out.